You can't see, but I have my hands slightly next to my mouth, and I'm doing like the haughty anime woman, like.
Oh, but now I see it in my head, and it's beautiful.
3, 2, 1. Archers, attack! Keep firing! Let none escape! Another down! Do not relent!
Straight out of the Scarlet Halls, I'm Slidewhistle.
I am Immunization.
I'm Aaron, Fire Mage Extraordinaire and Horde Punching Bag.
And we just went through Name Reservation Hell for Classic.
Yeah,
Holy
baby!
shit.
Now I finally know what it's like to be a veteran. I was out there in the trenches. My struggles are just as important.
So we are recording right after it's like maybe 2 hours after the Classic Name Reserve went up. And me and Aaron were out here trying to get so many names. And just logging in was super hard.
Yeah, the one server we wanted to go to, they're like, that's the last one we're gonna open. So we were fighting, just trying to log in. I got into one server and got some names, and I was like, it's the wrong server! So I had to completely start over. It was fun on the bun.
Yeah, I heard that you guys kept trying to log into the server we were going for, but even though you clicked on it, it would log you into another server first, and then you'd have to switch back.
Yeah,
I
don't
just think
understand why.
I think Blizzard's like, no, it's picking Misriel. And it's like, reroute. Send everyone to Misriel, please. It's John from IT's favorite server. What do you mean no one's gonna play with me? Make them, Daddy.
For some reason, it seems like they didn't activate the RP servers because both Bloodsail Buccaneer, which is a terrible server name, and Grobulus, which is an excellent server name.
Which is an amazing server name.
They both weren't up for like a long time, and they're both the only RP servers. So I think it has something to do with them being RP. I'm pretty sure.
They had to put those extra bells and whistles into the reporting system, which I talked about that with you guys, and you were like, oh no, like, yeah, that's pretty standard. I just found out about this today. Blizzard will look at your name and be like, I don't think your name is Dorito Toots, and will straight up get rid of you. Or I'm sorry, no, they'll rename you.
I think it's really only if somebody reports you, and then they report you for like violating the RP rules of the server, and then Blizzard's like, yep, no Dorito Toots here.
The Discord for Grobulus, which, as everyone knows, is the best server.
Hashtag Grobby Gang.
Hashtag GrobMob.
Grab gang. Grab gang. Grab game. Grab gang.
It doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well, but we have time. We'll make it work.
But they were going crazy. They were kind of like, everyone's mad, obviously, that, we were the last to get in. But then once everyone started to get in, people were like posting screenshots of like the names they were getting. And people with names like Poop Butt or Vomit or Abs Crunches were being posted. And everyone's like, I'm going to report that name the first time I see it because it's a non-RP name. So people are ruthless, ready to fight.
I love that they can't do it yet, but it's like, Abs Crunches, when the time comes, you better stay out of Westfall or else you're getting a fat ban.
You aren't getting any of this in the Goldshire Inn, but you are getting slapped with a ban.
Ban 'em. Well, I think we're pretty safe with our names, but I guess we talk about that after we talk about what we did in WoW this week. Aaron, what was your week in WoW like?
Similar to last week in WoW, we recorded the episode, and then almost immediately I became exalted, this time with the Rust Bolt Resistance. Which is admittedly kind of a hollow victory, because I'm like, I did it! Like, I got exalted, I got all the stuff, and I don't really feel motivated to come here anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I really haven't been back to Mechagon for several days, really.
So, of course, like the smart college degree having person I am, I'm like, you did it, Growlina. You're exalted with both factions. You can finally start exploring, like, the final content. And then she immediately took a vacation, and I started working on my monk. So I'm in alt territory, baby!
What spec is the Wiggles man in? Are you taking him mostly as a tank still?
Wigglestein is famous for about every 3 days he switches to another one. which is really hell on gear. I had a 315 staff because he just, whenever he would get things, it would always be in like Windwalker. So he is Brewmaster now, and I'm like, I'm just going to stick to Brewmaster because sort of like you were talking about in a past episode, like he doesn't die unless a bunch of people are on him. So I'm like, that's really cool. And I've just been doing all the content. I finally get to see, considering this is the first character that's an alt that I'm going through, the catch-up mechanics, and they're very nice.
Yeah, especially with this last week, there was that heroic warfront that we got to run together.
Yep, I went from a 315 Warpwood quarterstaff to a 430 weapon, which is like the same level that my main has. I'm like, wowzer, zowzer.
Now, was that the first or the second Warfront?
Fart. Well, we'll get in. Yeah, Immune and I were part of a rarity, a failed Warfront.
It was heroic, though. It was heroic.
It was heroic,
It was
but
so
I
bad.
literally did not know that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say it as my bottom boot later, so we can get to that later.
Well, so I was
Spoilers.
just carving away at Wigglestein. I don't think he's going to become a main. I'm still going to play Growlina for like the actual content, but he'll be my go-to, like, I want to do other stuff guy. So, Immune, what did you do in this wonderful World of Warcraft?
This week, again, I did a little bit of everything, all, my normal things like emissaries, but then we did that Warfront, did some Mythic Plus keys. Actually, it was really exciting. Actually, just yesterday, Side and I were able to finish a 9 key in time where we only had like 20 seconds left at the end of it, so that was pretty exciting. It was King's Rest, too, and I feel like we've definitely struggled a lot on that one in the past.
Yeah, that one, I was very surprised at how smooth it went. But we had our strongest like guild AoE in there, and we're doing that tonight, right? Is that when Honor said he wanted to do the 10 key today?
I think so. So maybe we can do that after recording. I'm sure there's room for you too, Aaron, if you're around.
That'd be hype. I should be around at least for a while.
Yeah, other than that, Slide and I also dipped back into some twos, and we had such a satisfying win last night.
Ooh, baby. My dick's getting hard just thinking about this win.
Yeah, so we laid the smack
I
down.
say, please tell me about this win that got you so erect.
Yeah, like we somehow managed to defeat the dreaded combo of Mistweaver Monk and DPS spec of Demon Hunter, right? Yeah, I forget what it's called, but
Havoc.
yeah, so we thankfully were able to beat them. This is I think my first twos match that went on long enough that we got to dampening.
Yeah, so it was just a really long fight. It got to the point where I was like, can we just surrender? Like, I don't want to, we're not going to catch them. They're too fast. They have so many interrupts between them. They just had me locked down. And then, you know how bullshit monks are, Aaron, because you're playing one right now. They're rolling around, they're teleporting, and I'm like, I can't catch them. Like, what am I supposed to do? But eventually they fucked up, and they just took one greater pyroblast to the face to turn the tides, and We also encountered a weird bug that happened in one of our matches.
Yeah. So we won a match that we really should have lost because I died. I was healing still in my angel form post death, and then as I was in this form still, Slide was able to take down one of the opponents, so it was just going to be him versus one of the other ones. I'm like, okay, well maybe Slide can still pull this out. It's just 1v1 now after I die. And I'm just sitting back waiting to see if Slide can pull it out, and then Slide is like, Immune, are you alive? And then I double check. I'm like, whoa, I'm alive? I was not in the ghost form where you can walk around and watch the match. I was straight up alive again after my angel form expired.
Whoa, that's weird.
I was like, he was just standing where his angel form was. He was just standing there, just like a statue, just staring. And I was like, he's alive, right? I said, are you alive? Help if you're alive. And he's like, what the fuck? Because he had full health, he had full mana. And he doesn't have any talents that are like a rebirth or anything. So I don't know if we cheated by accident. Blizzard, please don't ban us. We didn't mean it.
It's the Slidewhistle cheat. He always cheats.
Slidewhistle cheats.
Bitch, I'm pure. I don't cheat.
So yeah, that was definitely interesting. Slide, what did you get up to in WoW this week?
Well, you've already heard quite a large chunk of it with the Mythic Plus and the arenas, but I did something special this week. I was out there in the Stratholme Pet Battle Dungeon.
Wow, really? We've already run out of content?
Oh, come on, there are pet battlers out there. They're there somewhere. Me, I guess I'm one of them. What was I doing? Oh, I remember now. So my heart was 60 last week, or last time we recorded, and I said I was going to go out and do that Calicos Heart of Azeroth quest, and I ended up doing it, but we were in a raid, and like a dummy, I forgot, and so I couldn't complete it. I went through the entire, all like 8 stages, and I couldn't complete it because I was in a raid. So then what I ended up doing was I ended up doing it again like 2 days ago, and I was flying there, and I was like, what is this other quest that I have? And it's like, take this key to Stratholme. And I'm like, where did I pick up a key for Stratholme? And then I go there, and it's like, come on in, we got some pets to battle. And I was like, what? Fuck.
Wait, Stratholme as in like the culling of?
Yeah, like, well, it's like, yeah, it's like that same area.
Spare none of the women and children, but ignore the pet battlers.
But then I realized it was a good idea to do because at the pet battling house at Rough Waters is what it's called in Borealis. There's a arcane elemental out in front called Manapoof. He's also in Dalaran and all the pet battle areas. And what he can do is he can teleport you to the dungeons of these pet battles. So then I realized that he would be a teleport for me to Stratholme, which is like not an area of the map we really have teleports to. We have Old Dalaran, but Stratholme is way higher than Old Dalaran. So now if I just go to any like pet battle place, I can teleport way up high in the Eastern Kingdoms. So I'm kind of debating doing the rest of them just to have like a free teleport to do like old raids and old content and stuff. But I cleared it out. It wasn't that bad with my pets and my pet battling experience. I've learned in Mechagon of the good old Bone Shard Icky combo. So yeah, I guess you can say I'm a pro pet battler now. Look out.
So you said that a lot of the different expansions have these like free teleports that you get from talking to this poof guy. Which expansion did that start in?
I believe this started in Legion because I remember Manapoof being in front of that area next to the flight path. So right now I have 2 that I can teleport to. I can teleport to the Wailing Caverns, which is also very useful. That's over in Kalimdor, right? And then I have this one. There are 2 others. One's Nomergon, and that's also a good teleport because there's not really anywhere in that map that you can teleport to. Like, I guess Ironforge, but it saves you so much more time.
It's pretty close to Ironforge, but yeah, it's still a flight. If you get a direct walk there, that'd be a lot better.
And I think there's one more, but I'm not sure which one it is, so it can't be that important if I don't remember it.
I guess we can talk about this last week in Raid. It was a little bit of a weird week. We had a lot of people missing in Raid. So the first night, we, surprisingly with our Ragtag team, cleared Heroic up to our progression boss, but then decided to call it a night. So then our second night of Raid, we decided to do kind of like an alt run with our normal geared characters, and that surprisingly went pretty smoothly too. We pretty quickly made it all.
Was I high? I swear I was there.
I think you were there.
Why
You
do
must
I not
have been
remember
high.
this? Why do I don't remember anything being different.
Wait, didn't you say you were really drunk that night? Is that what happened? Was that the night that you didn't eat any food and drink a lot of alcohol?
I mean, that was, but I think I still went to Raid because that was the night we recorded.
Yeah, no, I think we were all present at Raid, and I think the 3 of us may have been on our mains, but most of the Raid was they were either newly returning back to the game in preparation for Classic, or they were on alts, so like we were kind of able to like not really care that much. At least that's what I felt like, healing it. So we pretty easily made it all the way to Ashara.
And then we didn't get to kill her, as per usual.
Nope.
At this rate, are we ever going to get to kill Ashara? I want this kill.
I felt the same way about, I mean, you guys did it, but I felt the same way about my Jaina back during the last one. I'm sure we'll get it eventually, but it's really disheartening to be like anything out of Heroic, and then people bring up like, and also we never beat Ashara. We're still 7 of 8 normal.
Yeah, and I actually am kind of worried about us actually getting AOTC because I feel like a lot of our core raiders are gonna be swapping over to Classic real soon and not coming back.
I am not afraid to, like a cheap dime store whore, sell myself to get that AOTC. Or I guess not sell myself, pay to get that AOTC.
Just start dancing on the banks of Stormwind, the stairs of the bank of Stormwind, and there you go. You get your AOTC soon enough with that body.
I would be able to get that so easy if sexy puppet shows were still allowed. Damn you, Blizzard, for patching that out.
Oh, wait, you finally put Growlina through the PTR new organ model stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, I totally did. She has a face. It's good. It's better. There's hair physics on the hair. There is a new, I don't know if it's a new run animation, but it looks better because her head like moves and stuff. The only thing though, and I don't know if this is just PTR, and I don't know if it was a thing to even begin with, and I have just been touting it, there were no glowing eye options. Meanwhile, the boys get 7 varieties of glowing eyes, and now like 2 Disney forms of eyes where they get like big beautiful blues, but the Worgen just have normal brown eyes, except for 2 that have orange eyeshadow.
Getting that sweet hussy look.
Yeah, which I'm like, I mean, I guess there's 2 that have orange eyeshadow, and 1 has a little bitty baby scar. I'm like, that's really cool, but what if I want my woman character to look interesting?
What? Sorry, you can't do that. Which I don't understand why they
Sorry,
separate.
women have to be sexy. Bright, glowing eyes are too spooky for ladies.
Honestly, this kind of pisses me off, and I don't even play any Worgen. Like, why do they not have the same eye options, both genders?
It's possible that they're still coming. I was reading that the PTR things aren't complete yet, I think. So like there's still an opportunity for one glowing eye option for ladies, but I mean, I guess we'll see, right? My guess is probably going to be no, though.
I hate to say it, but like, to be like, oh, I know how to do your job, but like, they literally already have the ability to turn eyes into glow eyes. Just do that. I don't know.
Just make her a Death Knight. It's your only option now.
Yeah, literally, I have to have to class change into a Death Knight, because that is the only way to get glowing eyes now. Thanks,
Oh,
Blizz.
right. And you actually can't class change, so you have to level up a whole new character.
Oh, fuck. Growlina with 3 eyes, here I come.
Were the casting animations better or worse than what you have now? Because they're all different, right?
You know what? Admittedly, I was so excited for that face. The neutral cast animation is different. It's less like winding up a pitch and more like she's actually like charging something to like upheave something. But even though I'll be doing it in every single attack, I did not look to see what the casting animation was. I'll have to do that now, and then I'll add an addendum video where I'm just like, oh, this is good. Or like, I don't like it. But excited that my girl is a little bit prettier, still pulling for those glowy eyes. Honestly, glowy blue I would take, but bluish, I mean, if we're going glowy, can we do glowy orange for Fire Mage? That'd be the ultimate
Ooh.
RP.
Yeah.
And also
that'd
the
look cool.
boys have it. They have glowy blue, green, purple, orange, and yellow. And I'm like, wow, sure glad the girls get none of these.
It's really odd that they wouldn't. It's super easy to make eyes glow. Just give them the option.
Because I'm very sympathetic to like the character modelers and stuff like that. When people are like, oh, just put on a new skin. It's like, well, no, they have to change animations. But you don't have to change animations for the eyeballs. They don't go nowhere. The glowy ones still move the same way that the normal ones do. Just like change out the texture, please. Erg.
So another update that has come out is that Blizzard is doing an upcoming class tuning that will go live as of this recording tomorrow, or August 13th. And there are a lot of class balancing things they're doing where certain classes are being buffed across the board, certain ones are being nerfed. So it's a little interesting the way that they decided to deal with this.
Please do tell.
I think you mean a little dumb. Some of these are just like Death Knight, Warlock, and Warrior. They all got some huge changes. Frost Unholy for Death Knight. Damage of all abilities increased by 5%. Ooh, isn't that juicy?
Because
cool?
Death Knights really needed buffing.
Warlock and Arms. Sorry, Destruction Warlock and Arms Warrior. Damage of all abilities increased by 5%. That's right. That's the same buff. They just buffed baseline damage by 5% because they're underperforming. But like, I don't know. It seems so boring when they just do baseline DPS increases instead of like altering how their abilities work or altering their rotation. And I get it's easier to do it this way, but it's so lame.
Lazier.
You're lazy, Blizz. We're calling you out on your baloney. You thought we loved you, but now we hate you.
Bleh.
We hate you, Booster.
We hate you, Booster.
You gotta put on the suit, Mac. They won't know who you are without the suit.
Are we now officially a Jingle All the Way podcast? Because I am
I'm
A-okay
here
with
for
that.
it. It's
Howard?
just a simple Christmas package.
Put those cookies down.
Now. When Howard / Turbo Man / Arnold Schwarzenegger is talking to his son, and he's like, Jamie! And Jamie's like, Turbo Man's calling me.
And yeah, he's pointing, and it's like, I think he's pointing at me. And like his big chud friend is like, no, he's pointing at me. And it's like, turn on your mic. Like Booster tells him, and he's like, Jamie!
That should have been a giveaway to literally everybody in the city who this man was. There's only one Austrian running around this town of New York City.
Remember,
Anyway.
you're my number one customer.
He missed his kid's karate. Oh, God, it's so sad.
Yeah, remember when he called his
R.I.P.
wife his number one customer?
Oof.
Oofa doofa.
Remember at the end when he forgot his wife's birthday? And then they set up for a sequel that never happened?
What would that be? Like spousal abandonment all the way?
Oh.
Linda, I promise I love you. What if I dress up as your favorite superhero?
Howard?
Howard, that's not gonna work. Well, too bad, Linda. I have the Aquaman costume right here. I trained the dolphin.
Okay, I gotta get us back on track here. So there actually was somebody who was nerfed, who got nerfed, and it wasn't just damage. It was more in depth than that. Outlaw rogues have been targeted, which is hilarious.
I wondered if that was the case because when I was combing for material for a later segment, there was at least 4 or 5 threads that were like, well, I'm canceling my sub because my outlaw rogue, I'ma shoot you, is useless now.
It's actually funny that they did this. I feel like they're basing all these nerfs on Outlaw Rogue solely off of the MDI, the Mythic Dungeon Invitational, because almost every group was running 3 Outlaw Rogues, which is so boring to watch everybody just run Outlaw Rogues.
It's sort of like how the Overwatch League was like, Mercy is no longer viable because I got tired of seeing her.
Or how they're like, you know what? We're all tired of goats. Now we're going to force everyone to play 2-2-2.
There you go.
But so the actual nerf is Blade Fury now strikes nearby players for 15% less damage than what it was before. And Keep Your Wits About You, which is an Azerite trait, now increases the chance for Sinister Strike to strike again by 3%. And it was 5%. So they just did some like just tuning to just like their overall damage output with their crits and stuff. It's kind of silly to punish actual players because of pro players in the MDI when they could just probably make the MDI esport just have different rules. Like you can make these tuning adjustments
you could
just
probably
the MDI.
be like, you can only run a certain amount of a specific class or something like that.
Like they do it for PvP. Like there's like Azerite traits do less damage in PvP than they do in PvE. So they could just do this for if the MDI realms they're on. It seems just kind of rude to punish normal gyms out there playing because these pros are doing too good.
Well, I'll have you both know that I took Stabenstein, tied blindfold around him, and just put him out of his misery because his Blade Storm, which I don't even think he had because he was level 27, strikes less now.
Pour one out for the
Outlaw's
band
over.
Stabenstein.
So the last class change that they... Oh God, excuse you. Oh,
Don't talk about it. It's still too bad.
Hey! You can't talk about that. Beep.
so the last class change that they included was for Resto Shamans. And my spot at the top of the healing charts during raid is in danger because they are just getting buffed across the board drastically. Like Healing Surge and Healing Wave are getting a bonus 10% increase in healing, and their mana cost is being reduced by 5%. Healing Rain is being increased by 20%. Riptide by 15%. Wellspring by 15%. It's just like so much additional healing, and less mana cost.
And Healing Rain is their huge AoE, right? 20% is going to be humongous for Resto Shamans over there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my days at the top of the charts, they've been nice.
Shamp's coming for you.
I guess it's time to start leveling Immune.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a shaman main now, guys. I don't even have a shaman anywhere near max level, but here we go.
There's no time like now. That's what Abraham Lincoln said.
Right before he got hit by a train.
There were just like general PvP nerfs where they just made Azerite traits way less effective. All tier 3 Azerite traits are now reduced to 20% effectiveness instead of 50%. They're almost not even on anymore. There's a Death Knight one I don't care about, whatever. But they have the audacity to come for us, Aaron. There's a mage PvP change.
Oh shit, what is it? This is gonna affect my non-existent PvP career.
But it's going to affect you staying alive in the world. Actually, I don't know what your PvP talents are, but they're going after Temporal Shield.
That's one of my favorites. That's the shield I put up and then it doesn't work.
Which should work. Are you putting it up too late and dying before it goes off?
I don't know. Maybe. I just feel like I put on Fire Shield and I put on Temporal Shield and then like I know it's supposed to absorb damage and then give you stuff back and it definitely doesn't. I'm like, I guess I'll just die.
Maybe you're putting it in the wrong order. Maybe the Fire Shield is going over Temporal Shield and it's absorbing damage instead of the Temporal Shield, but I'm not sure how they interact together. For those non-mages out there, Temporal Shield, it was a 6-second duration, and all damage you took during it would heal you at the end. But now, instead of being 6 seconds, it's 4 seconds, which is actually probably huge in terms of being hit by enemies. So I guess we'll see how that plays out, but I'm not a fan. Leave us alone. We aren't that strong. Back off, Blizzard.
I say, I'm not good. Please just let me keep this.
Keep your mitts off my mages.
Speaking of mages, I'm going to check in with, personally, my favorite mage to see what she's been learning in the world of Azeroth.
Evening, DN Army. Growling is here to bring the word of the people right to your ears. I'm here with a new pal of mine, Chico Polo. So Chico, with all these new players potentially entering the game as allies of the Horde and the Alliance, what would be your dream allied race?
Probably the Tol'vir.
Wait, really? The four-legged guys? The goons from the Forgotten Cata dungeons?
Yeah, I think their designs look really cool, and they've already shown that they can be a bunch of roles.
I won't lie to you, Sheik. I would not have expected that. Now, if they were to wear pants, would they wear them on the back legs or all four?
I would imagine they just wouldn't wear any, like how the Worgen don't wear shoes.
Well, Sheik, you got me there. You're one that loves to dream, and I can never fault you for that. Maybe in the near future a quadrupedal birdman will have taken my job. But until then, back to you in the studio.
Thanks for another stellar report there, Growlina. Can't wait to hear back from you next week.
Growl on the prowl. Real people are recording.
I'm out there. I'm talking to people. I'm there. Most interviews nowadays are kind of short because they don't want to talk to me too long. But that's okay. They're busy.
How often would you say Growlina spins out there trying to get someone's attention to talk to her?
Yeah, you know what? I spin a yarn every week. I probably spend a good hour and a half trying to get people to talk to me, because also sometimes when people come up to me, it's a big ask to get them to talk to me about my podcast, because like every like third white guy's got a podcast. But sometimes when I'm talking to them, they're like, this is dumb, and they leave, and I'm like, you only gave me like one thing, like this is gonna be like 20 seconds of content, like please come back.
Oh man, I think one day you should just like Twitch stream you trying to find people to talk to you. That seems kind of entertaining.
You just see Growlina sitting in Borealis / yelling in the corner, be like, hey, Twitch subs, it's your boy, Buttman64. I'm still trying to get people to talk to me.
I want to see the desperation.
Can I get some T's in the chat for talk to me, please?
T.
T, 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 T.
T.
Thanks, gang. Bro, paw.
We have our first look at one of the new recruiter friend mounts that Aaron's going to be getting and I'm going to be getting because I decided I am paying for a Sweaty Gumbo subscription so I can get free stuff too. I guess it's not free, but I'm paying
Sweaty's
for it.
going to play with us for a month? Although probably not. She'll probably forget.
She's been going to this place near her work where it's like a gaming bar, and apparently the owner loves her. The owner has changed their hours to accommodate them, like her and her work group.
Excuse me?
He's been opening up earlier so that way her and her work people can come over and play Overwatch on his computers.
Yeah, and like not only that, but they've been changing the happy hour to fit the time frame for when her and her coworkers are there.
This is either a very accommodating gaming bar or a failing gaming bar.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it can be both. It can be both accommodating and failing. But yeah, she told me, and I thought I was like, what are you talking about right now? This is insane. But anyway, I basically was like, hey, listen, how much time do you spend at this gaming bar? I'll pay for your sub, and then I'll just get all the rewards, and you can just do whatever you want. And she was like, how much of a time commitment is this? And I was like, I don't fucking care. Whatever you want to play, just play.
I'll say, yeah, you could just not, I guess, and then you just spend $15 for a mount.
But back to the core of what we're talking about. We data mined a new mount, and it's a camel mount. But not only is it a camel mount, it's a 2-person camel mount, though it can't fly. So,
I don't know. This thing looks like it can fly. Just believe.
This dirty, nasty camel. Come on, fly! Just believe, Dune Trekker!
it has lots of chests and bags on it. Maybe you can carry some of your extra shit for you. Wouldn't that be nice?
Of course. Speaking of 2-person mounts, I just have to do a quick aside. I was in Zoldazar the other day, and randomly I get whispered by someone. They're like, are you in Zoldazar? And I go, yes. And they go, can you give me a lift? I don't have flying yet, and I just saw you fly in. I need to get to this specific place. And I was like, I don't have a 2-person mount. And he goes, I think you're lying.
You should be like, yeah, I do, and then bust out your Dune Trekker, and you're like, come on, let's go. Not fly, and just like walk up there.
So I was just like, I mean, I'm not. I'm like, do you want me to go through every single mount I have and show that I don't have a 2-person flying one?
Can you please go in alphabetical order and show me every mount you have so I can compare it to your list? Thank you.
I'm like, I'm so sorry. And he goes, ... I mean, okay.
Ugh, so entitled.
I think you're lying. Wow. He fucking called you out. But yeah, I mean, it looks alright. It looks cool for a free mount. I don't have any of the camel mounts because the other ones are hard to get. So this is pretty alright. It's got cool goggles, I guess.
It looks pretty derpy, which is cool, I guess.
Yeah, I'll probably
I mean, those are just camels, right?
Ride around on it with Kate once or twice. She'd be like, oh, this is a stinky camel. I'm like, it was a stinky camel that we technically paid for. And then I'll put it away and not use it again. So, the big news on every World of Warcraft player's mind, it's time to go all the way back to the year 2004. That's right, gang. Do Not Relent has officially decided to dabble. I guess we haven't really decided to what extent, but at least to play World of Warcraft Classic.
At least occasionally.
We can contractually say we don't ignore it.
This is true. I mean, I think it'll be okay. I don't think we're going to dedicate too much of our regular podcast to talk about it. I think if we have something that's like eventful, we can maybe even make like a special like separate episode that's non-scheduled. That'll be Classic related maybe. I said it's still going to be a primarily BFA current podcast. But yeah,
I can already tell based on the little bit I played, and maybe it's just like, oh, you're not used to it, Aaron. I am very much more of a fan of retail than Classic.
Yeah, I feel like as soon as we start playing Classic, we will realize exactly how much we take for granted in current WoW.
I'm worried for myself. I was doing the stress test the other night and leveling my priest to see how it feels. And I just really like having defense points build up for being attacked by boars felt. And then I was hitting pigs with my staff, and I was leveling my stave skill. And I was like, what's a stave skill? So I kept hitting them to level it up, and I didn't need to anymore. I spent 45 minutes hitting pigs with sticks for no reason. Like, none of it matters.
Wait, so you said there were hogs. Were they feral hogs?
Yeah, did you get a body count on how many you hit with your staff?
I had to be probably 30 to 50, I would say.
Over what time frame approximately would you think this occurred?
It felt like it was somewhere between 3 to 5 minutes.
You were doing the Night Elf starting zone, right? So, like, that first quest involves protecting your kids as they played?
Well, unfortunately for my character, all my kids are dead. He's gonna RP as a... is there a name for somebody whose kids are dead?
A bad man. A negligent man.
Like, if your parents die when you're young, you're an orphan. If your spouse dies, you're a widow. What is it if your kids die and you're just a bad man, like Aaron said? Is that it?
I mean, in this case, it's not your fault that you didn't have an assault rifle to kill these fucking feral hogs.
But I did have a staff, and it was doing the job.
Okay, excuse me. The name for that term is a viloma.
Whoa!
A
What do you spell that?
vilomah. A viloma.
What? That's crazy. That's a great name. Go get it right now for Classic. Go go reserve it.
I gotta go viloma. And there'll be everyone's like, what a great fantasy name. And then someone will whisper me like, really, bro? I'll be like, yeah, it happened back in 2007. Shit sucks.
I'm so sorry for your loss, Viloma.
Yeah, you could say that it defines me, so much so that I spent one of my 3 classic slots on on little Jimmy's death.
Oh, Viloma. But yeah, so we're dabbling. I mean, you guys heard last week we're gonna go on Grobulus, or all the cool kids out with the Grob Mob. I don't know what the hell we're doing. I mean, I'm gonna be a priest and immune. I already forgot what you are. Paladin?
Yeah, I'm going to be a paladin. I saved the named Randolph, so I will be Randolph the paladin, a human, of course.
I will be Ronald, the human warrior. And my whole thing is that I'm an atheist in a world where not only does God exist, but if we ever get a BC realm, I'm pretty sure they're a raid boss.
Wow, you are gonna disrespect Benedict, the old man priest, by being an atheist?
Yep, anytime I get healed by the light in a dungeon, I'm going to assure you that it was the good, healthy meal that I ate from my farm, the Lansbury Burrow.
Well, since we're talking about Classic, I'm going to pull a time warp.
Oh no, don't do that. It's a part of the show that we typically do.
So, I pulled time warp, and these two boys will have 40 seconds to respond to my trivia question with as many responses as they can. The person who names the most correct responses wins, and the other one will be forced to drink and consume the alcohol.
Oh no!
So, are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes.
This week, the trivia question is about Classic, and it is in particular about the faction leaders of Classic. So on my mark, name as many of the faction leaders as they were in Classic. On your mark, get set, go.
Thrall, Varian,
Sylvanas, Thrall,
Lorthamar,
Bolvar, Buljin,
Magni Bronzebeard,
Gelbin, Mechatort.
Karn Bloodhoof, Cairn Bloodhoof.
Shit, did we get them all?
I think we're missing one.
You can name the ones that technically weren't playable too.
What does that mean?
Malfurion, Stormrage, and Tyrande
Time.
Wind.
Those are big ones.
Okay, so time is up. Let me tally up the scores here. Slide was the first to name. Thrall and...
He got Lorthamar.
But I don't think Lorthamar was leader then.
No, there were no blood
Oh
elves.
shit!
I realized now after I
Oh
said it.
yeah, there was no blood elves.
No, and at this point, Kelthus was the leader still.
Oh, fuck, man. This is...
Slide correctly named Thrall, Magni, and Cairn. At this point, Lorthamar was not the leader of the Blood Elves, it was still Kelthas. And Varian was not the leader of the humans, because Aaron correctly said that Bolvar was the leader of the humans.
Wouldn't it be a Nixia?
I mean, like,
It's
I'd say it
debatable,
is
but I mean, but if Bolvar gets me points, then it was Bolvar.
I think it should be a Nixia, not Boulevard, to not get him points.
So, Aaron also got 3 correct, because he named Sylvanas, Bolvar, and Gelbin Mekatork.
Oh shit, we going tiebreaker again?
Whoa! I also said Vol'jin.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. You said that just as right at the very beginning when Slide said Thrall.
Well, he also said Malfurion and Tyrande.
But at this point, he didn't say Tyrande. He said Malfurion, but Malfurion was sleeping, and it was Fandral Stalekhelm who was the leader of the Blood Elves.
I hate classic.
Why are we playing this garbage?
I found this list, right, and like it like technically I said that because you could have also named Velen. He was the leader of the Eredar people, and you could have said Gen, who was the leader of the Gilneans, who were
Human
isolated.
Glenn or Glenn. Hey, bros.
Yes, our roommate. Here also lists the Pandaren leader as Shang-Ji.
Huh?
I don't know who that is.
Is that
Who
the
the
guy
fuck
who
is
taught them Kung Fu? Because he definitely wasn't alive then.
And it lists the Goblin leader as all of them personally leading themselves because at this point they were all billionaires.
Oh, before they all ruined it.
Excuse me?
So I think I'm going to go ahead and give this win to Aaron.
No, he's on a
Thank
6-game
God,
losing
please,
streak.
please, I called my mom. I said, Mom, pray for me. I've been on a losing streak for like 2 months. And she's like, Aaron, why are you drinking on your World of Warcraft podcast? And then I hung up.
Is this a real conversation that took place? Because it sounds like it is. Oh,
No, my
like
parents don't know I have a World of Warcraft. Every so often they'll call me like, are you still playing the Wars game? And I'm like, yes, I play it with my friends. And then I say your real names. And my parents go, well, that's neat.
I chugged my beer during that conversation. It did not taste very good.
I'm going to take my shot because I like drinking.
My mom's trying to get the name of the podcast out of me. She's like, you have a podcast. Could you call me? And I'm like, Mom, I'm editing. What do you want? And she's like, you have a podcast? What's it called? I want to hear it. And I'm like, I'm not telling you. Even though it's in my Twitter bio. Like, she follows me on Twitter. She could find it easily. You dummy. You hear that, Ma? You're
Your
a
mother
dummy.
has a Twitter? Hold on, I know what I'm following ASAP.
I'd be careful because she'll stalk everything you do.
She might already anyways. I don't know.
It is pretty much just talking about anime and this podcast.
Oh, no. Wait, don't follow her. Then you give it away where the podcast is.
Oh, snap, that's true.
As you said, Slide, she should already know. It's in your Twitter bio.
Yeah, but she doesn't read that. But then she's like, oh, what's Aaron doing? And then, anyway, she'll stalk.
Anyways, before I distracted y'all with this time warp, we were talking about Classic. We mentioned our name reservations that we made. And earlier in the podcast, I also mentioned that I felt like a lot of our guild in the current WoW is probably going to be leaving to mainly play Classic, or at least that's what I feel. I'm a little worried that we're not going to have a dedicated full raid team to do current raiding.
It seems very up in the air right now. There was a guild meeting that they had to figure out where they were playing, and I think that they decided that Alliance PvE is going to be on Atiash, which is where most of US Proudmoore is moving to for Classic. Just they're all going there. But some people did decide that they were going to do Horde PvP, and to those people I say, you're all dirty traitors. How dare you go to the Horde side?
Boo on you.
I think that's going to be Lynn, our raid lead. Brio and Scott is my guess. So maybe we have to roll on White Mane and we got to kill him. So that's where they're going. So then they asked me what my plans were, and then I threw in, I'm going to Garbulus with the muting and Aaron. So then it was kind of quiet, and then they were like, well, are you playing Horde or Alliance? Because I think if I would have said I was playing Horde, they would have been like, well, just come to White Mane with us, you know? But we're not. We're doing Alliance. So it's just a really odd like three-way split between like the guild and where people are going. So that's interesting.
I also like that we have the big dick energy to consider ourselves a third split. Probably over there, like, yeah, those three weirdos are gonna go to Grobulus.
I mean, it is. Think about it though. That's still pretty big. That's three folks that could be on one of those servers. And we also, I mean, we're bringing Logan with us. He's coming. Not that he's playing much right now. I don't think, because he's been very busy with life. But technically, Andrew and Will are Phoenix Fusion members. So it's kind of, it's like 6
Oh
of us.
god, they are though.
But Scott was talking about how he wanted to hit 60 and he wanted talking about rating plans. And I'm like, if you're talking about rating plans, you're talking about playing Classic pretty seriously. So I don't know who, I mean, I have to imagine some people are going to want to move full time into Classic World, but who's that going to be? How do we know?
Yeah, and I imagine most guilds might be facing something similar to this. So I was talking with Slide the other day. We're kind of under the impression that maybe a bunch of guilds might have to like find a sister or brother guild and like kind of merge a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised one bit if a lot of guilds have to consolidate because people want to move to Classic full time. There's a lot of old folks who are nostalgic for this stuff. And I say old folks as if like people listening weren't playing back then. We had that hot young energy, you know what I mean?
I mean, there are definitely friends
These
our
old
age who were
kids.
also played then who are nostalgic for it. So it's like,
Those old asses.
yeah, Andrew.
Ugh. I do think that this is going to be kind of good and a little bad for retail game because it's going to make guilds consolidate, right? Is what I'm thinking. If Classic has this big impact that I think it might have, then this means that they can hopefully shrink down the server size. Because if you think about it, the population of the entire game doesn't really matter for us. It only really matters on a server-based thing. You know what I mean? So if they smush servers down, then it only will really matter who we see on our server. So maybe we can get like a server squish, and that would kind of resolve a lot of the issues, not having people in guilds and stuff. But again, it's still to be seen how large Classic's going to be and how long it'll hold. But I guess we'll only find out by waiting, right?
I'm also excited that finally these people who do nothing but shit on the current game and talk about how great Classic was will leave and go to there instead.
Yes, because now there's no excuse for hearing why Classic's better than BFA. Then you're just like, well, why aren't you playing Classic right now? Go on and get over there, Grandpa.
Yeah, like you have an option. You're still gonna go over there. My favorite interaction from my time in the Classic stress test was people were talking about like, I'm so conflicted because I hate Activision because that's the hot take is that Blizzard is no more. It's just Activision. Blah. I hate Activision, but I love Classic. I don't know what to do. It's like, yeah, is anyone gonna steal it again in like Blizzard's official logs? Like, yeah, please give us the name of who's gonna steal it again.
Everybody who's saying that like BFA sucks and Classic is great, by them resubbing, they're funding BFA. It costs them almost nothing to like maintain a Classic server, but their sub money is still going to go into current expansion builds and future expansion builds. So thank you, Classic people, for resubbing and playing.
Keep on coming back. It's literally only a win-win.
And before we move on to our sexiest NPC of the week, turns out all the streamers announced where they're going.
Oh snap! Was that just announced as we were recording?
It happened today at like noonish, I feel like. Today being August 12th, the day of the name reservation. And it seems like they all decided that Fairlina is going to be like the streamer server. That's interesting.
Fair
Because
streamer.
Instead of being like spread out, they're all going to be on one server. And a lot of the people's problem that they had were like, streamers are going to ruin the experience. And I kind of agree because like, think about it. When they open the gates of Encourage, the streamers are going to be able to get the resources to open that gate first.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this list has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like 12 to 18 streamers that are going to be on Fairlina. Some are going to Golemag and some are going to Pagel. And those are the only three that are on this list. Pagel, Fairlina, and Golemag. So that's great. I think they realize that like people don't want to have to deal with, that kind of ruining the community aspect. And they're going to have crazy like streamer battles, I feel like. That's pretty neat.
I also thought it was kind of funny today that Asmongold wasn't able to get his name in the name reservation.
It's funny because he said it was his fault because he shouldn't have cared about his character's stupid lips. I guess he was messing with his character's mouth before he's locked in his name. He was trying to customize it like a big dummy.
Can you imagine the sheer pressure that kid who got Asmongold is going to be under? Like, what a hilarious joke, Jeremy. We're gonna need you to sacrifice that name real quick.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will end up getting paid money for this name.
Yeah, I feel that's gonna happen too. People were trying to buy names like they're trying to buy like Jacob and Robert on the Discord server for Grobulus. So we'll see what happens with that.
If anyone out there, if any Wallaces out there want to get their name live in Classic, the bidding starts at $200.
If you really want to be Archibald or Felipe, I have the names available starting at $20. Buy my lunch.
Well, now that we have wrapped up talking about Classic, we can now slide on in to our sexiest NPC of the week.
Ooh, hard. Almost made another joke this week and derailed it, but
That's a
We're
good
gonna
thing
go
that
in
Slide talked
immunization our way into the sexiest NPC of the week.
It's a good thing Slide talked about lunch, because this sexiest NPC is a real snack.
who is it? Who I'm dying to know.
This week's sexiest NPC of the week is Siamat, the Lord of the South Wind.
Oh, baby, let me tell you, he's been in my south wind.
Ooh, baby, I can tell you that his triangular AoE attack isn't the only thing that's stunning.
You gotta get in there and you gotta stand still or it'll zap ya. And it will murder you instantly if you're not fucking inside of that luscious triangle.
You have to get all up inside of his luscious triangle.
And by proxy, all up inside of him. You're right underneath his, like, swirling wind butt. You get a whole view of him.
Whew.
Oh, and he loves to just sit there behind his shield and watch you just take out all your aggression on his boys before he comes to the party.
Wait a minute. This is a different genie than the other one, isn't it?
Yep, wait a minute. Wait, which genie are we talking? This is Genie Gate
no!
2019. The
This is
picture
Genie
that
Gate.
I am currently looking at is the one that's in the Tolvir dungeon, where you have to kill the boys in, like, the market, and then you go up to him. Are we
Yeah, I
talking
thought
about
that's who
the
we were
one in the
talking about, because
clouds?
you guys in the chat earlier said Siamat.
No, that's the one we fucked up. The triangle one is not Siamat.
Who's the triangle one then?
I think that's just... That's I
You
think
see,
we went at the
that's the one
same
in the
time.
Tolvir dungeon. We fucked it up. We fucked it all up.
Well, do we just roll with this and give Siamat the sexiest NPC award that he just earned?
Well, fucking, what is this one's name?
Siamat is the one who's in Old Doom. The one that we have is correct. We're talking about Lightning Boy, who was in Throne of the Four Winds, I believe, or Conclave of the Wind. What's his name? Oh, guys, that's our boy Assad.
Guys, our Draenor darling is showing.
Now, hang on. Let's be fair here. Both Assad and Siamat have the same exact model. It's not our fault. All genies look the same.
More like Blizzard's recycling, not even changing the colors, recycling models is to blame.
right, so let's-
Okay, so I'm gonna make the executive decision here. I want to have a threesome with Siamat and Assad, so I want to give them both an award.
That's fair. They're basically the same people. Like, look at them.
You can do a Blade Runner 2049 where they just sort of meld into, like, the same person, but it would be seamless because it's the exact same model. Do you love me? Yes, Siamat. And then you'd see, like, Assad, like, slightly shiver, but he'd be like, I'll be your Siamat.
Well, let me tell you, both these boys got great tattoos and a great mustache to boot. I like to ride his mustache, if you know what I mean.
Oh boy, do I.
Ooh, I'd let him blow me off of the building or floating platform. Now all come-ons have to be about both dungeons.
He's hanging out in a sandy environment. and in the clouds. He knows how to get around. They know how to get around because there's two of them now.
I'm jealous of all the wind elementals they get to hang out with. Actually, you know what? They both hang out with wind elementals in Tolvir, so never mind.
Yeah, but okay, DN Army, we will post a side-by-side comparison of these two. They are the exact same model.
It's the same damn man.
Wait, can we do a poll? We just post Assad and we post Siamat and we see who's sexiest. See who the internet thinks is sexier.
Which one of these two is the sexiest?
Oh, okay, you heard it, DN Army. You pick live. We are going to have a Twitter poll. Is Assad or Siamat the true sexiest genie?
Just text 8. Text your vote to 40904 and submit. You get 10 votes per account. Send them in the day.
Don't actually do that. I don't know what that is, but vote on our Twitter poll at Do Not Relent Pod.
Oh my god.
I swear, if Ruben Stuttered wins again, I'll be so upset.
My mom screamed when Ruben won. She was so worried he was going to lose. Wait, didn't he lose?
He won.
He won. He beat out Clay Aiken, governor of some small Iowa
Oh my
city.
god, I forgot about that. Anyway, Siamat or Assad, we haven't decided yet. The internet will. But for one of you guys, your award will be in the mail. Oh man. We really bungled that one, huh?
Whew. Sorry, DN Army.
And with that, it's time for our final act in the show, our top toot, bottom boot, or medium moot. So, Immune, what is your TTBBMM?
As I previously alluded in this episode, my week had a bottom boot. And that was an unprecedented feat of losing a warfront. And losing the heroic Stromgarde warfront in particular. And being grouped with... It was like the most incompetent group I've ever seen in a Warfront before, which is saying something, because like when Warfronts first came out, I swear like half of the Warfront was just literally standing there doing nothing. Ugh. They didn't know what they were doing. They were doing like all of these mechanics wrong after like we had a leader who was trying to tell everyone what to do. I mean, he's trying his best, but like no one was listening, no one was doing anything, and Lady Liadrin just came in there and whooped us all so hard. She defeated our hero, Trollbane, and I didn't even know that Trollbane could die in this Warfront, so that was new to me too.
Yeah, I felt bad because I was the tank in that one, or as one of a couple tanks, but that was during the 315 staff, so I'm like, I can do nothing here. Like, other tanks, please come over here so we can get her out. And then they didn't, and we lost, and I'm like, like you said, like, I didn't know this could actually happen.
Yeah, so that would be my bottom boot this week. Aaron, what do you got for this week?
My top toot is in the second time we did that heroic warfront. I got that 430 polearm, which jump-started my boy Wigglestein into viability. It raised his eye level by like an actual 30 points, and now with a little tender love and care, he could actually be a viable character, which he hasn't been since like the Draenor days.
Yeah, I was gonna say the last time that was a thing was like end of Draenor, I think.
If even. I think I left him in Mop, but he's here, he's Sphere, get used to it. And I'm excited to, since Growlina's taking some time on the back burner before like the next new big content comes out, I'm excited to level him. So, Slidewhistle, what is your top toot?
Yo, my top toot just changed. I got a top toot this week. Somehow we missed a change that's coming on the 8.2.5 PTR. There are a couple of things we missed, actually. But the most important one right now is a new glyph for mages. It is the glyph of lavish servings. Your conjure food table is now a more lavish affair. Now hold the fuck up, because the remodel they gave us was pretty fucking lavish. How much lavish is it gonna be? They're gonna make it juicy. Like, there's no pictures, I don't think, or no models of it yet.
Is it gonna be like a full-ass feast or something?
That's what I'm imagining, because what it is currently, it's got a lot of stuff on the current new remodel table.
I say we just got a new model. What, like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was so recent. So that's my top 2, boys. We're getting a hot new table, and I can't wait to see what this is. We're on
getting
Table Watch.
spicy buns.
I really like that they called it a lavish affair.
There is also something else here. Soldier of the Battle for Gilneas City. Aaron, what do you know about this? Is this going to be part of the Worgen Heritage armor?
Shit, I sure hope so. I actually know nothing about it. This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
The buff says, assisting with the battle for Gilneas City grants you high morale.
Oh. Or is this going to be like a war front?
It's going to be either a Warfront or a Heritage armor. Can you imagine?
I am so here for any sort of Gilneas content.
If it is a Warfront, then you know what that means, right? If it is a Warfront, they're going to remodel the city and make it livable. It's probably not a Warfront. We're probably getting too crazy right now. But having Gilneas as an actual city would be thebomb.com.
If Gilneas is an actual city, I, like so many Worgen before me, officially become an RPer, and I just go and live there in like the 6 days we have it every other week.
Oh man, Worgen RP would take off like none other.
It already is up there.
All the time. What are they doing there? If you do Worgen RP, please send us an email at donotrelatpod@gmail.com or tweet at us at donotrelatpod on Twitter.
If I may weigh in, the one time I did Gilneas RP, they were going around as their humans, and I just yelled at everyone for being weak and got kicked out.
Oh, that sounds about right. If you guys want to send us an email or anything, you can just send it at donotrelatpod@gmail.com or tweet at us at donotrelatpod on Twitter. What about you guys? Where can I find you on the internet?
You can find me, Alex, or Immunization on Twitter at NewEraAlex.
You can find me, Aaron the Human, at The Big Cheesy on Twitter, where I watch Iowa State petting zoo parodies of Lizzo songs. I was doing that over to the side here.
I mean, that sounds delightful.
Hey, you. Yeah, you, listener. Don't forget to vote in our Siamat Assad Sexiest NPC poll. We need to decide who the NPC is to put it in the spreadsheet. So it's up to you, DN Army, to decide the winner of this Sexiest NPC.
If you don't vote for it, the other one is just going to be Sexiest NPC next week, and we're just going to bring it back.
So do yourself a favor so that you don't have the same Sexiest NPC twice in a row, listener.
Thank you. That's it from us. We'll see you guys next week. And remember...
Another down! Do not relent!
Do Not Relent is a podcast within the 3HNC network, representing U.S. Proudmoore's premier podcasts.
That was a very good wish.